Okay, so whilst people are making their way down to lunch, the lunch break here, for you, it continues. We continue with a few interviews now that we've got lined up with various people that we're just going to find out about their experiences and really get underneath. We're going to dig a little bit underneath what's been going on with some of the projects that have been referenced or maybe not been referenced. So there's some new insights coming. But yeah, keep sending your tweets down because it's the way that we can communicate with you. I just saw a fantastic tweet. It was from somebody. Kelly Allen pointed it out, and it was basically somebody was tweeting to us from a bus. She's listening, strong voices coming loud and clear, or sorry, maybe it was a hymn, I don't know. But basically, somebody is on a bus right now and they are listening to the strong voices, which is brilliant. So just to keep the things coming down, and I'm going to be joined I can see them tentatively waiting. They can come over, but I'll be introducing you in a couple of moments to my first interviewee. So we have a little microphone here. And we just have a nice little conversation. We're live with the people online.
Okay.
And I understand that you are Nicola Harding.
I am indeed, yeah, from my place in Rotherham. It was part of the YMCA White Rose.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, we're just adjusting the sound levels at the moment here. Just there's a lot of ambient noise around, and we need to make sure that we communicate effectively with you guys. So our nice strong voice will come across in a moment. But your involvement with Strong Voices, can you tell us a little bit about how you come to be part of this amazing project?
Yeah, so my main role is I'm a youth worker.
Yeah.
I'm a youth arts development worker with the YMCA White Rose. I came to join the Strong Voices project in October 2013, so I've been involved for about 18 months.
Yeah.
My main role within the project has been to coordinate Strong Voices throughout Rotherham, which has involved partnership working with the local authorities youth service and other arts organisations as well. I've also been involved with the face-to-face delivery with young people of some of the projects. And some of the projects that we've done have been projects around World War One, the centenary.
Yeah.
Around Holocaust Memorial Day, celebrating diversity.
Yeah.
We've done some boys' work around Matthew Bourne's production of Swan Lake.
Okay. Yeah.
Amongst others. We've done a lot.
Wow, it all sounds very diverse. that work. So, I mean, what do you think that your young people have got from taking part in those activities?
I think the main thing is that young people have got opportunities to take part in arts activities that they might not have had otherwise. So they've had opportunities to engage with practitioners from across the town and wider, who they might not have had the opportunity to work with or meet in other circumstances.
Right.
They've had the opportunity to progress. So not just through accreditation or apprenticeships, but actually maybe starting as a one-off session and then going on to doing longer-term projects that have got maybe more meaning to them, that are more substantial, and some have then progressed as well onto apprenticeships and that kind of thing. So.
Okay. And what, in amongst all of that activity, what's really what surprised you? Any big surprises that have come out?
I think the biggest surprise for me has been the really positive relationship that I've established with a network of arts practitioners, and the surprise has been because throughout the project it's been quite a challenge to actually engage with some of those practitioners and to establish those initial links and then keep getting a committed group.
Right.
But over the last maybe 5 months we've been really lucky, I suppose lucky is the word, that we've established a really good network of practitioners who are in the art sector but are really, really passionate about young people as well. And that's been brilliant.
So that was a surprise.
Yeah.
What's been challenges? Any challenges?
Well, like I said, that was one of the main challenges.
I
think establishing those initial connections with partners has been a real challenge, but also the balance between being a youth worker and being a coordinator of a project.
Right, okay.
It's been quite different for me. managing a project from a strategic level.
Yeah.
I'm used to leading youth sessions and working
Yeah.
face to face with young people. So it's been a really good challenge. I think I've developed personally from it,
Yeah.
and it's also given me a chance to change the way that our youth centre works as well, which has been brilliant. So.
Okay. No, it sounds very interesting, and yeah, I'm sure you get a lot out of it as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's brilliant.
you know, what advice would you give for arts organisations that are looking in right now that would potentially like to work with My Place centres more closely? Any tips for them?
Yeah, I was having to think about this earlier on. I think one of the main things to take on board is that you need to be open-minded. So
Yeah.
obviously a lot of artists and arts organisations are, but I think
Yeah.
it's about being willing to work with young people, and especially those more disadvantaged young people or vulnerable young people that might be more difficult to reach. So it's rather than waiting for people to come to you, be willing to go
Yeah.
out to them and to make those connections. I think also through Strong Voices we've been able to create some training opportunities, some bespoke training opportunities for arts practitioners, so that they've got the skills to engage with those young people. So I think if anything like that arises, it's for those practitioners to take on board those training opportunities. That would be a big one for me. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. And let's put those questions that we had laid out to one side. What's your view on
Put me on the
the
spot.
day? On the day, I mean, are you finding there's a nice vibe in here? Do you think there's a lot of what's the experience like for you right now?
I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Newcastle and Gateshead anyway, so it's a nice day out.
Yeah.
But I think the day got off to a really good start with the sing-along that we all joined in and had a
sing-along,
sing. It was
yeah.
very unexpected, but
it was to me.
But
I
it
have
was
to tell you,
enjoyable.
it was absolute to me as well.
I love singing, so I'm not so much with people that I don't know. We're a bit nerve-wracking, but it was really enjoyable, and it was nice to see everybody to come together. So that was a really positive start.
I mean, it was very in this room. I mean, it is an acoustic venue, as we know. We're in the Sage Gateshead. It's known for its music, but that was pretty incredible. I felt.
It was really empowering.
Wow, you know. And then there were people. Did you know? Well, you wouldn't have known, but there were people online. There were a few people that were basically singing. Dancing along as well. They've been
well, that's brilliant.
hitting their pots and pans, so that was just amazing.
In the comfort of their own pyjamas, probably at home.
Really got stuck in the way that people did here, and I think that's great. So yeah, I feel there's nice energy.
It's a really good vibe. I'm enjoying it. So we've got a lot more to come, haven't we? So
well, yeah, interesting. What's to come? We've got a big debate at the end of the day.
Yep.
Now, the details of that are not yet known. We don't know what we're going to be debating, but we know that there are some really key questions coming through, and you're going to be asked for some questions, and then it's going to be somebody will choose, and out of that will come the debate. So we want people to stay with us as well for that. Great. But we've also got another great seminar in this room, and I know it's going to be a great seminar because I've been in the practice for it yesterday, and I want to get the name right. And the name, of course, is diversifying your workforce. So that's going to be coming up later on this afternoon. So yeah, you're right. There's still a long way to go, and we're hoping that these guys are going to stay with us as well. And keep sending your tweets in. So Nicola, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If people want to get hold of you, can they write to you and ask you, or is that?
Please.
Or do you want them to do it through one of the guys at the partnership here, or
they can get in touch with Chris Strong at Cape UK. That might be the best
Chris
link,
Strong,
I think.
yeah.
Or if they want to have a look at the kind of work that I do in Rotherham, then YMCA White Rose has a website, ymcawhiterose.org.uk.
Brilliant.
So,
okay, thank you
Thanks
so
a
much,
lot.
Nicola.
Cheers.
Thanks for your time. So that was Nicola Harding, and we are now. I'm going to grab Kelly in a moment. Actually, I've just signalled to Kelly to come across because she did promise that she was going to come and talk to us. We've just had a chat with Nicola. I just want to talk to you generally about today, because I know that Kelly, you are one of the organisations, one of the driving forces in this whole. In this whole 2-year project, which is coming to an end. So is it kind of sad that today is kind of like, it's a conference about sharing, it's a conference also about all the great research and the other things that you're doing and keeping that conversation going, but it's kind of ending as well, so is that a bit strange?
Well, It would be sad if it was entirely ending, but this project may be ending, but there's a lot of work that's carrying on. So I don't have the detail of every Bridges programme, but I know certainly in the Northwest we're not expecting this to end at all. I already know that one of our major partners has secured funding to carry on quite a lot of their work, which is brilliant, and we're working very closely with others. So although this particular project is ending, the work isn't ending, which is really great. And there's lots of, obviously this was a particular piece of work that we were doing, but loads of other threads have come out of it. So things that I'd like to follow, lots of different ideas. So one of them, for example, is the idea of doing more relaxed performances in theatres, and I'm currently thinking about how we can make that happen in the Northwest through our bridge role. So
relaxed performances in theatres.
Yes.
Tell me more. I mean,
Okay.
I'm intrigued. I hope I hope you're intrigued as well. But tell me about a relaxed performance.
Okay, sure.
Because aren't performances all kind of, very unless you're absolutely right on the money, then it kind of falls over. Or
well,
what's a relaxed performance?
The relaxed. Well, I'm glad you asked. It's an idea at the moment for us, but a relaxed performance is where you have a performance that specifically states it doesn't have the usual social expectations that people think you would normally have of an audience.
Yeah.
So actually, if there are people who may call out or may need to get up and move around, or might not be able to sit for a full hour and a half, or don't like being in a room with the lights down, don't like big bangs and flashy lights.
No.
The performance is adapted in that way. So it's the same. It's the same piece of performance that you would see, but it would be adapted to be more accessible for people who might not want to sit in a former theatre environment.
Yeah.
So traditionally they've been done with SEND people in mind.
Okay.
However, I think people in mind. So that's people with special educational needs and disabilities. However, there are a lot of people I think who just prefer to be in a more relaxed environment.
Yeah.
And some theatres do that, some don't, and we would like to see more doing it.
Okay.
So I'm hatching a plan at the moment as to how we might support organisations in the Northwest to do more of it.
So if you're a theatre, if you're got any reference to a theatre and you're in the Northwest, then you ought to get in touch with Kelly. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you think is coming out of today as well? I mean, what do you think's gone well? What do you think's what are you excited about coming up next? There's two questions in there, by the way. There's two in there. So what's going well? What would you like to see more of from the sessions that we've done already?
So for me, I mean, the hybrid nature of this event is a new experience for me. It's been a very steep learning curve, and I've really appreciated having your expertise, Paul, and the expertise of everyone behind the scenes here as well. So that's exciting, actually, and I think it seems to be going very well. I'm sure people online will be able to tell me whether or not it's going well.
Well, what do you think?
Like
is it going well for you guys? Because that's what we want to know. But I think we've had good viewing figures, and they've stayed. Well, they've actually gone up as the time has gone on. So, and we want them to stay, of course, for the debate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So this is a new experience. The debate is going to be an interesting one, though, isn't it? Tell me more about the debate.
Well, I can tell you a certain amount about the debate, but the point is that we don't know. I was saying yesterday as we were setting up for the event, I like to eliminate as many unknowns as possible from events so that I've got the spare capacity to deal with the rest of it. But this is fairly an unknown, the debate, because you're setting the questions. So actually what we want is for you to set the agenda. So please tweet in your questions. We are picking them up. We're writing them on bits of paper and putting them in a box just as you would if you were in the room. So and then we'll pick some juicy questions about that, or things that come up repeatedly that people are clearly very keen to talk about, and we will debate in the room, which is great.
And it could be, I think I got a sneaking suspicion that maybe collaboration might be one of those things that comes up, simply because when we first started, we had when Catherine was doing her keynote, and she had her three kind of key prongs. Collaboration was the one that got more of you interested in. Right, okay, but that's okay. But really, there's a lot of time, a lot of effort. What do you do if it goes wrong?
Yeah.
So that could be a key kind of subject area.
I think
that's
so.
that's where my money's going, Kelly. So
Yeah,
you know.
I would agree with you. And for our Strong Voices programme in the Northwest, collaboration and actually specifically cross-sector collaboration has been
Yeah.
a real key for us. You know, we're an arts sector support organisation essentially, but this type of work specifically cannot happen without good youth sector partnerships. So I'm really glad that Nicola was here before, that we've got quite a lot of people, you know, from the youth sector in the room and watching online.
Yeah.
And that partnership, but you know, the expertise around those individual specific young people that we're working with, tied together with the arts expertise, is a really winning combination. But getting that right's not easy, and it takes time and it takes resources, and people have less time and less resources. So keeping it up the agenda is really important. And this was one opportunity for us to try and keep it up the agenda, was to tell people how this has gone. So
that's good.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's
so I
all
think
good.
that'll come out. I hope it'll
Excellent.
come out. Yeah.
Excellent. So I don't know if we're doing if
Julie's
we
here,
are.
Yeah.
Is she coming here? Oh, she is. Okay, that's cool. So Kelly, I'm going to say
Great.
thank you. And if Julie is
Definitely.
ready and wants
Julie
to.
is one of our Northwest partners, so I'm really glad you're going to be talking to her.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you can stay with us and sit there quietly in the background, or maybe not so quietly.
I'll probably leave.
But actually, what you can do, just before you disappear off, why don't you just introduce how you guys come in. It's one big party. We're having a big party here. So what we're doing, our online folk are over here. So, but all we're looking to do at the moment is just have a little bit of a chat about what you guys have been doing and about how you come to be involved in this program. Really.
Yeah, great. I mean, I'll leave you to it in a second. But one of the things that I've said repeatedly, actually, and I think is really important, is that the reason I knew to work with you in the first place was because we just made time to have a cup of tea eons ago. And when people have got less time and less resources, you don't make the time to just have a cup of tea. And when this opportunity of Strong Voices came up, it was only because we'd done that I knew actually that's bang on with what you wanted to do. So, if I could advocate for anything, it's just make the time to talk to each other and know what's going on, because then sometimes things link, sometimes they don't. But we can only do that if we make time to talk. And
So make time to talk. Have a cup of tea is what we're saying. but I'm just going to ask Julie then. So tell us about. Thank you, Kelly. That's brilliant. Yeah. Sit down and take the weight off, because it's.
Thank you.
It's you can stand up too long, can't you? But
Yes.
we haven't been standing up, but I feel like I've been standing up all day. But that was probably because we were prepping here yesterday, and that was a lot of standing around and waiting for the next person. So, anyway, so 42nd Street is your charity. Would you like to tell people about what it does and a bit more about yourself as well?
Yeah, I'm the creative producer at 42nd Street. We're a mental health organisation based in Manchester.
Yeah.
We work with about 2,000 young people every year, aged between 11 and 25.
Okay.
And we run a number of services across 4 Greater Manchester boroughs, including the City of Manchester. We have a one-to-one offer, so we offer counselling, therapy and informal support.
Yeah.
We do key work with young people as well. So that means young people can come to us and have a weekly or bi-weekly session that follows a sort of therapeutic model, or they can get more, just have help when they need help.
Right, okay.
When they feel that they need someone to talk to. We also work in schools.
Okay, yeah.
We train people, professionals in other sectors around mental health, and we have an extensive youth and group work programme, which includes ever-growing creative and cultural offer.
Right, okay. So what is it about arts and culture in particular that appeals to you?
Okay, well, I have an arts background myself, so I'm a kind of secret agent I'm a double agent in the mental health world. That's right, you said producer,
right? That was the word I should have really picked up on.
Yeah, the clue was in the title.
Got it.
Yes, I'm a creative producer, so I've worked for 25 years now in arts and cultural sector, but often in social settings. So I've worked in Latin America, for example, working in reproductive and sexual health, working with those charities, but looking at how you could use creative methods for engaging communities and doing the work that the charity needs to do. So my job at 42nd Street is to identify opportunities for embedding a creative practice across everything we do. And obviously the easiest way to look at that is looking at our group work programme and looking at how we can create groups that that have a creative aspect or entirely a creative process. But also we're starting to look at how we can do one-to-one work as well that might have that as an emphasis.
Okay.
And we use creative practice and we use art projects and programs and artists because we have we work to the social model of mental health, not the medical model. So we work and we work to a recovery model, and what we're trying to do is help young people to be the best they can be in the situation they are in, and to improve how they feel about themselves and how they function in the world. It's not about cure, and it's not about medication. It's about being the best you can be. And creative practice can contribute a lot to that. I think anyone watching will understand how it contributes to self-esteem.
I'm sure we'll get some tweets coming down to reinforce that, I would have thought. So now that we've got my final question, because I know that we're on our lunch break, almost. What's the, now that this project is coming to an end of Strong Voices, what's next for 42nd Street?
Well, we've spent the last 2 years, it's been a really good, almost like laboratory for us, Strong Voices. We've done some great work, we've done some work that actually we think, that maybe wasn't the way to go. So we've been able to test, pilot a lot of work. We've also been able to do a lot of work with artists out in the workforce to make them really sort of ready to work with us.
Brilliant.
And we've also been able to do a lot of work with our own workforce, mental health practitioners, so that they feel more comfortable working with artists. And fortuitously, what's next for us is that we are in the middle of a development phase, and hopefully we'll access quite a substantial grant from the Heritage Lottery Fund, and we have a Victorian shop which, all being well, we will start transforming into a 3-storey creative space, dedicated creative space for vulnerable young people in Manchester, in Ancoats, which will open in April 2016 and be a hub for all of our creative practice. So
Brilliant.
we've got fantastic things on the horizons. You've got
a lot on the go. Brilliant. And final point, if somebody wants to get in touch with you and ask you about your experiences, is there a way that they can do that? They
can contact me via the 42nd Street website, which is www.42ndstreet.org.uk.
Right, okay.
Not to be confused with the nightclub of the same name in Manchester. Or email me, julie.mccarthy@42ndstreet.org.uk. Or we also have a dedicated Twitter feed, which is Ancoats Art.
Brilliant. Julie?
Twitter feed. The Twitter feed is Ancoats Art.
Brilliant. Julie, thank you so much for spending the time with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's great meeting all these people.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So just before we go to, just before we take a little break, do keep sending your tweets in. The hashtag, I've got it now. It's #StrongVoices15, and we're going to take a little break now so that we can rearrange things for this afternoon. And we want you to keep engaged, stay with us. There's a lot more to come up. We've got another few hours to go yet, and we want your questions on the big debate to come through as well. So any questions that are really getting underneath your skin, then let's have those. Let's really put those into the melting pot for what will be discussed in the debate. But the next session coming on is Diversify Your Workforce, and that is coming up at 12:50. So we're going to have a little break, and I'll be back to you just before then to recap on what we've done so far.